Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
Yanavinaga, Fiji. In this bulletin, Prime Minister says work continues despite opposition boycott. Psychologists to join Fiji police force. And flash flood guidance system launched.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has brushed aside the opposition's walkout of parliament yesterday. Bainimarama says work continues despite the absence of 24 members of the House.
I don't have any comment except to say that you note that we're still in there because the Speaker will make us work for our pay. And of course, life goes without, carries on without the opposition.
And while some members of government are calling for disciplinary action, the Prime Minister has questioned the opposition on whether yesterday's actions will become common.
It'll be up to the Speaker. I really have no say in that, except to say that if every time they don't agree with a petition decision by the Speaker, they're going to walk out.
The government hopes to table the final draft of the climate change bill in Parliament by May. Minister for Climate Change, Aya Syed Qayyum, highlighted in Parliament that they are now in the final stages of collating responses before a final consultation in April. Syed Qayyum also touched on the benefits of having the climate change bill. The minister says they hope to have the bill passed by Parliament and launched as one of the milestones of Fiji celebrating 50 years of independence.
Having a National Climate Change Act will actually, in fact, mobilize a cross-sectorial response to climate change, improve our ability to understand it, plan for it, avert risks and help us to unlock new opportunities for our new private sector and increase our access to emerging carbon markets. We've talked about carbon trading, and indeed this climate change bill, the draft bill, addresses those issues.
More than $10 million worth of damage was caused by tropical cyclone Sarai. Minister for Disaster Management, Jone Usamate, says the agriculture sector sustained the most damage, followed by infrastructure, housing and education. While people were still recovering from TC Sarai, tropical cyclone Tino hit, affecting mostly the northern division. Usamate says they've received the TC Tino damage assessment for the north and are working with the other divisional commissioners on the same. He also highlighted the loss of 2 lives, a father and a daughter.
The Ministry will continue to work on improving our goal to minimize loss of lives in the event of a disaster. We will continue to work with our humanitarian partners and donors to ensure that people of Fiji are well informed pre, during and after disaster.
The Fiji Police Force, as part of its restructure, will soon recruit a psychologist to help boost productivity. This was confirmed by Minister for Defence and National Security, Inia Seruiratu, in Parliament yesterday. Josiah Nanunga with the details.
Being a custodian in maintaining law and order in the country, the force still has identified areas that need serious attention.
In the restructure of the Fiji Police Force, they need to have qualified psychologists to assist them in managing the stress level within the force.
The force in the recent years has shifted its attention to an equitable workforce by increasing the number of female recruits, something that has got the full backing of the Women's Minister.
I'd like to applaud the Fiji Police Force for the continued improvement in the recruitment of women into the Fiji Police Force, which I understand sits at 20% at the moment. We hope that there will be a continued rise in the statistics in relation to women in the Fiji Police Force.
The force has also mapped out strategies to curb other issues, such as data collection, work facilities, and adopting latest technology to ease workload. The minister also highlighted the Police Act is currently being reviewed by the Solicitor General's office and is to be finalized soon. Josiah Nanunga, FBC News.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has stressed that the business license reform will be a game changer for all. Minister Premila Kumar says the reform will ease the setting up of businesses by reducing the initial 40-day turnover to about 8 days. Digitizing the process of issuing a business license has seen an increase in successful applications.
Nosuri Town Council has seen a 72% increase in issuance of business licenses in January 2020 compared to the same period last year. That is, 810 business licenses were issued in January 2020 compared to 470 in January 2019. In Suva, 193 new business licenses were issued compared to 74 in January 2019. Suva City Council was able to issue renewal of business licenses in less than 24 hours, whilst new business licenses met the 48-hour benchmark.
The Fiji Meteorology Office has installed a flash flood guidance system which allows them to keep track of possible floods. Minister for National Disaster Management, Chone Usamate, says the Met Office has mapped out all the likely flood areas in Fiji and advisories and warnings are given accordingly. Usamate says during recent natural disasters, flooding has been a major issue.
We're now fine-tuning our tools to be able to forecast these floods, and as a result of this, we hope to be able to keep our people safe and save our infrastructure, save the people in this country.
Usamate also highlights that the Met Office now has a hydrology unit which keeps track of rainfall in major rivers and streams that lead to flood basins. Since the introduction of the Parenthood Assistance Program, the registration of newborns has increased. Minister for Economy Aya Said Kayum says if a child is registered within 2 months of birth, it is deemed as in-time registration. Anything later than that is considered late application and fees are applicable.
In 2016, when the Ministry of Health, through its system, had 19,180 births, only 19.9% of the children were registered within 2 months of the child being born. In 2017, out of the 19,646 children born, only 20.1% were registered within the 2 months.
The Parenthood Assistance Program began in 2018, and of the 19,736 births, 33.4% were registered in the first 2 months. In 2019, 80% of the 17,913 births were registered within the first 2 months. Coming up, Ikanikonda chases Olympic dream and young weightlifters shine.
Oira na ngone no de nuni ena be singa ni mataka.
Mersi sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitar lo bina nona baksa ngai ka pala lo mataki na ngone. Dala bina oya o meliki.
Bulre oya o Samuel Samuli.
Nama kikirau ena be mataka.
Boniti kena bagrombuka.
Ni boy tini kalima na miniti me ono kina tini na kaloko. Ena Radio Fiji One na ndobo ibiki.
Indaw kina na mataka. Dan ramay na singabo.
Welcome back. The Olympic Games is just 5 months away and the battle for the 13 spots in the Fiji 7 side is heating up. One of the players is Levi Ikanikonda, who returned to the national squad in Hong Kong in 2019 after 7 years. But there is something the 30-year-old is closely monitoring to help him make the trip to the Tokyo Games.
I need to prove a lot of things on my training and especially on my diet. During of the field when I was staying at home. A lot of cassava and dalo, so need to cut it so I can help my fitness and my body weight.
The Kaiviti Silktails is now recognized as a rugby league football club after being handed affiliation provisions by the Fiji National Rugby League Association. The club has been granted a license and endorsed by the FNRL board as the Fiji Mbati development team.
The Kaiviti Silktails will create a pathway for locals playing in the Vodafone Cup to be drafted into the Ron Messi Cup and play at international club level.
These are local players. We identify their talent and for them to be drafted into the Silk Tails and then play in the Ron Macy Cup at that level of competition certainly will augur well with the development that we want to do for Rugby League, and we thank the Silk Tail and the management and those that are looking after the KVT Silk Tails for this wonderful opportunity.
Manager Jacqueline Shannon says the Silktails running as a club will provide an opportunity for local players to sharpen their talents.
Being granted this license, the KVT Silktails will operate as a rugby league club, as you alluded to, in Fiji, and has been officially endorsed by FNRL as the Fiji Bhati development team.
The KVT Silktails will head to the west at the end of this week to prepare for their first international encounter against Hela Wigmen, a Papua New Guinean team at the Melanesian Cup. Venina Rakautonga, FBC Sports.
Weightlifting was the only sport that disrupted swimming and rugby's dominance at the recent Fiji Sports Awards. The two weightlifting awards could signify a new beginning for the sport that has endured a lot of negative attention in recent times. Aquila Dama with this report.
The journey continues for Weightlifting Fiji as they won the Young Male and Female Athlete of the Year awards.
I didn't know that I was going to come this far and win an award during the awards night. I just want to train harder so I can at least shift my medals to gold, and that's I want to accomplish more in competitions.
Young Female Athlete of the Year Rebecca Johns will first have to concentrate on her studies before continuing with her training.
Right now I'm not in training because I have school exams, but my next step is to get back to weightlifting and to participate and to win more medals for Fiji.
Both young weightlifters attend Gospel High School in Suva. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
More than 400 students were part of the Ratu Sukuna Memorial School Interhouse, which took place at the ANZ Stadium in Suva yesterday. The school's motto for the Interhouse competition this year is Faster, Higher and Farther. RSMS is part of the Coca-Cola Zone 1 competition and is planning to field about 100 athletes for the zone meet. The Suva Zone 1 will be held at the ANZ Stadium on the 28th of this month. More afternoon and evening showers are forecast for the Fiji group today. And that's your FBC Morning News. Remember to join us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For these stories and others, you can also tune in daily to our sister station, Gold FM. That's it from me for now. Have a good morning.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही है।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो Fiji 2 देश की धड़कन पर।